Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about Keyforge. All right, so we are past the Keyforge release. So this is about between a week to 2 weeks past the Keyforge release. So I have my decks. I have 10 Keyforge decks, and here's the Garibay experience with those decks. I do want to explain what I'm going to be talking about today. Today I'm going to talk about Keyforge and the post-release reaction and my biggest takeaway from the Keyforge release, which is the incredible importance of the unique deck genre, which is a new game genre, and what it means for America. Okay? All right, let's talk about it. Okay, by the way, I absolutely love that Keyforge is an American product, right? So it's, because it was created by Richard Garfield, and it is a Fantasy Flight Games product, right? Now, Fantasy Flight Games is owned by Asmodee, right? Which I think is a French company. But the reality is they're just a publisher, right? They could have never, and nobody, in my opinion, nobody at Asmodee did come up with this game. In order to get a game this innovative, they needed to hire an American creator. So I'm really proud as an American that this awesome brand new game genre, unique deck game genre was created by Americans. It's really exciting. I love innovation. And one of the things that I've seen Keyforge, right? The innovation is real, and it is viable. And, so that's one of the things is that I can say. Now, how do I know that? Let me explain how I know that, all right? So one, my experience with getting my Keyforge, decks, it is, right now we're in November 2018. I have all the decks that I ordered. I pre-ordered 10 Keyforge decks. For some people, that's no big deal. For me, that's a big purchase. I almost never pre-order anything, and it was, I don't like giving people money for something I don't have months ahead of time. I absolutely hate doing it, but I was like, there's no way I'm gonna spend this, this fall without Keyforge. So I want a lot of it. Now there are 6 people in my family. I have 2 sons and 2 daughters and my wife. Okay. We're incredibly blessed. My oldest son has left the house. He graduated from college and went and got a job. He works down in Maryland now. Super proud of him. He's like, he has dual major in math and computer science, but he's out of the house, right? My oldest daughter, she is studying mathematics at a Pennsylvania state school. So she's out of the house. Okay. So that literally leaves 2, 1 boy, 1 girl, or, 2 of my kids are in the house. My wife is in the house and myself is in the house. We busted out 4 Keyforge decks, right? So, and I said, to my son, my youngest son, here you go, youngest son, this is your deck. Here you go, youngest daughter, this is your deck. You own it. Here you go, wife, this is your deck. You own it. And then I busted out my deck, right? And that was 2 weeks ago. We have been playing 1 or 2 decks every weekday night, and our weekends have been really busy with I had to go to a convention and a whole bunch of other stuff. But so all the time we've had is just to play this on weekday nights in our own home, right? But just amongst ourselves in our own home, we've been playing a lot of it, right? And it's really exciting. We've really dug it. Everybody's cool with it. I will tell you, I went to ask my son like a week after we got it. I was like, hey, let's play a game, my youngest son. And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, oh, you're not digging Keyforge? He's like, I don't really like my deck. I don't think it's as powerful as your deck. And so that's one of the things, and now he needs a new deck, right? And I was, for about a New York second, I was like, well, I'll give you mine. But I like my deck, and I was like, I'll keep it, right? So I didn't say anything, and I was like, okay, I get it. But it was just interesting seeing his interaction. Like, if you don't get the right deck, you have to go buy another deck, right? So that's one of the things we now know. We didn't know that until after the read. I have a great deck. I'm really digging it. I really like it. It's primarily Logos. Sanctum's, it's really strong Sanctum. Really strong Sanctum. Logos is in there, and I forget the other. There's one more in there. But we're having a blast with it. We're really enjoying it, right? One of the things I'm really excited about is on Thanksgiving, my oldest son will come. And this is one of the things I love about this game is I'm just going to be like, oldest son, here's your deck. Boom, done. Right? And then my oldest daughter will come home, and I'm like, oldest daughter, here's your deck. Boom, done. You can spread this game like a virus. Like, it is really, like, it's powerful. To get somebody into the game, all you need is $10. That is incredibly powerful, right? And they can start playing, and they can see everything about the game with that one deck. It's not a subpar experiencing of Keyforge. It's real. It's interactive. It's a thing, you know, like, and I the ability to spread this deck, and I'll tell you right now, Magic the Gathering has absolutely nothing like that. $10 with Magic, what's that going to get you? I don't even think $10 will buy you, it won't even buy you a pre-constructed deck anymore. They're like, good Lord, they're like usually $12 to $15. And recently, the pre-constructeds we've been buying have been close to $25 or $30, and some of them are upcharged, right? So I think that is really clearly better about the game. It's just the idea of these decks coming out. All right, now here's the key, right? So one, the Garibay family is having an absolute blast with Keyforge, really digging it. It's been wonderful. We've really enjoyed it, right? And we're at the very beginning of enjoying the game. And I wanted to say, so I have 6 unopened decks, right? Which I'm like, and that's another thing that's super cool. Like, an unopened deck for Keyforge is like this magical thing, because you don't know what could be in there, and that's really exciting, right? So and then after I give my oldest son and my oldest daughter a deck, I'm going to have 4 sealed decks, right? And I'm going to keep them sealed because I want to see if they go up in price. I might sell them, especially with Christmas coming up. We'll see what happens, right? So, but overall, we've really loved it. All right, but what's the real key, no pun intended, what's the key aspect of Keyforge now that we've seen it and we've played it? All right, so here's the thing, right? I predicted that Keyforge was going to be a ripple or a tsunami. Okay, now right now I don't think the tsunami has hit. Right, the game is out. I'm not seeing a ton of people playing it yet, and a ton of people talking about it. But there's a growing hype around the game, which is good, right? I don't think that has anything to do with Keyforge. I think that nowadays it's hard for things to hit fast because our world is so I don't want to say fractured, so custom, right? Everybody's interest can be so custom. Like, you can be like, my thing is purple chihuahuas. And you're like, purple chihuahuas, is that a thing? And you're like, yeah, there's 6 of them. They're all over the country, and I follow each one of their Twitters. Like, everybody's just into, like, super custom things now, and there's just so much to do, and the ability to ship products all over the world. Nothing takes off, like, because I witnessed the launch of Magic the Gathering in 1993, and that thing blew up overnight, and it was like no game I'd ever seen in the world, right? People were just, I lived in Lancaster, people were driving to Philadelphia every weekend for like 3 to 6 months, buying up everything they could get and bringing it back and selling it, not even for resale, just reselling it in Lancaster. Like, they couldn't get enough of those cards. It was crazy, right? So you were not seeing that with Keyforge. Now, I think Keyforge is going to be huge. I think it's really going to be a big successful game, but I think it's going to take time. It might take about a year or even 2 years for us to really see what the performance can be on Keyforge, right? All right, but now that I've seen the game, right? One, I think the game is super fun. I love playing it. It's exciting. I think there's months or weeks worth of strategy and play in each deck, which is cool. It's super cool, right? But what is the most important part of Keyforge? Well, the most important part of Keyforge is the unique deck game genre. Richard Garfield has created a new gaming genre. He created the collectible card game genre. He didn't just create a game, he created an entire genre, right? And I think unique deck game genre is huge, okay? And I would love to talk to you about the ramifications of Keyforge in games, right? But I can't. Not today. And the reason why is I think what Richard Garfield has accomplished with Keyforge goes beyond gaming, right? It really does. It could be massive, right? So here's the thing, right? So one, I have my own custom Keyforge deck. It's mine, right? And it has, it's called Molly Epps Way, Molly Epps Way Privateer. Okay, that's my deck, right? You know, I own it, right? And, you know, it's all me, right? And it's a beautiful, wonderful, unique name, right? And when I show it to people, like, and they can go through and they go, you know, and when I give my deck to somebody, right, it's a unique experience. They've never seen that deck before, and that is crazy. And when they hand me their deck, I'm going to take a look at a deck that I've never seen before. That is truly unique, right? Truly, no pun intended, truly unique experience, right? Now, here's the thing. I think Richard Garfield is an absolute freaking genius. And the thing I think is amazing is I think people thought that his genius was going to stop at Magic the Gathering. That was going to be the greatest thing he ever created. It very well might not be, all right? So let me explain to you why I think Keyforge is so important. I think Keyforge could actually impact, like, every American in half the planet, right? Like, it's huge. It's a really big thing, right? So what Keyforge did was it said, we can make tens of thousands of unique products, right? It requires high code, high math, incredibly talented distribution, incredibly talented design, incredibly talented managers, right? It is not easy to do, right? And I give my props to Asmodee, my props to Fantasy Flight Games, and definitely my props to Richard Garfield. It is truly incredible what he's accomplished, right? Because the ability to create these unique products is so important. And so here's why, okay? All right. It goes way beyond games. And I think what Richard Garfield has done is he has shown the viability of launching tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of unique products, right? With one release. And that's unprecedented. It has never been done ever, right? So Richard Garfield has really ratcheted the unique innovation lever, the genius lever back, right? And I think what he's done has gone beyond games, right? So I can see a million things coming from Keyforge, right? And I think the least of them are going to be what it does to gaming, all right? All right, I'm a sneakerhead, all right? I love sneakers. I absolutely love sneakers, right? And I have a very humble collection. Like, I have some very dope Nikes, and I have some very dope Vans, right? Like, I have a nice pair of black on black Vans that I really like, and the thing I love about sneakers, about my black on black Vans, right, is anybody looks at my black on black Vans, two different people look at my black on black Vans. One person looks at my black on black Vans, and they go, that person is wearing, and somebody looking at my black on black Vans, looking at me, would go, one person A would say, oh, he's wearing black sneakers, right? But then a sneakerhead, person B, would say, those are black on black Vans, right? They got the stripe, and the key Van is like the black Van with the white stripe and the white sole. But my Vans are black sole, black uppers, black stripe, right? And they're super dope, right? And I love them, and they're unique. And when a sneakerhead sees them, they're like, yeah, that's it, and they're like, oh, that guy, he might not be as much into streetwear, he might be more into skateboarding, or he just wants to send like a skateboarder vibe. It's gonna communicate a whole bunch of things to that sneakerhead, right? Well, guess what? I think the sneaker game is about to change huge, right? And I think it'll start with sneakers. And I think it's gonna infect, I'm gonna say it. It might infect because I think it's gonna happen virally. It could infect every product that we buy, right? Almost. Some products will never get uniqueness, right? But if you could take uniqueness and put it into the sneakerhead community, right? I would love to own a pair of Nike Jordan white cements. Super dope, like, sneaker, right? And sneakerheads are excited about that. It's a really popular sneaker, right? But get this. What if you can put two words on the tongue, right? And it says Fire Panther, right? And it's in, and it's in purple thread? Or what if you can put, you know, Crystal Dragon on there and it's in blue, you know? And that's where it could start. Just 2 words on you know, right above the toe on Nike Jordan white cements, right? Well, now, you know, let's say they put out 400,000 pairs, and that often runs are about that number, right? Of Nike Jordan white cements, right? Everybody was excited about 100,000 pairs of Nike Jordan white cements, right? But now, what if every pair of Nike Jordan white cements is unique, right? Or yeah, is unique. Well, that changes the whole game, right? What that does is when Adidas drops their next shoe, right, and every shoe is the same, that entire line of sneakers is trash, right? So basically, what I see is a world of unique product launches, and what it's going to do is it's going to be a barrier to market, right? So it doesn't matter what you make, handbags, doesn't matter, like hoodies, you know, sneakers, whatever, right? If you can put a custom design on there, and Keyforge does both. It does custom word combinations and custom visuals. The Archons are visually unique, right? I got a wing over here. It's a green background and a white background. And, you know, I have 3 eyes. You know, it's crazy, right? So you could do unique designs. You could do unique words, right? And so what this is going to mean is, right, going forward, there's going to be hoodie companies that put out hoodies, and all their hoodies are the same, right? And that's going to be for people who don't get it, right? And then there's going to be hoodie companies who put out hoodies, and, you know, there's unique words all the way up to around the fringe, right? And that's going to be the Jimmy Jam, right? That's going to be the special thing, right? And it's going to be hard for companies to do this because you need high math, high code. You need good distribution. You know, this ain't easy, right? And Richard Garfield just paves the way for unique products. I think what Richard Garfield accomplished in Keyforge goes way beyond games, right? He created, basically, he created the unique deck game genre, a brand new game genre. And if that ain't enough, I think what he did was he paved the road to show that unique products in the hundreds of thousands, even in the millions, is possible. It can be done. And you know how we know it? Because he did it, right? FFG did it, Asmodee did it, and Richard Garfield did it. So Richard Garfield is the Mac, like he is the pure Mac, right? What he has done goes even beyond games. It's huge. Keyforge, I think it's going to be a really big, successful game, but I think it's going to be historically important because it established unique products. And we are looking at the beginning of a massively important new change within marketing, right? And within product distribution overall and how products are made. It's fascinating. The other thing, I'm just gonna, like, there's so many things on my mind. You know what? The other one is, you know, what about when we get to a point where, you know, I'm not even, it's every single thing I have to say about Keyforge is so huge it could be its own, you know, its own video. And I think I've said enough, right? Like, I really feel like, you know, custom Nike Jordan white cements. That's what's in my mind right now, right? And this thing hasn't even touched marketers. It hasn't even touched product producers. The idea of unique products is huge, right? And what Richard Garfield did is massive because he showed the viability. He showed the viability. And that is so big. My hat's off to Richard Garfield. My hat's off to FFG. My hat's off to Asmodee. Massively important, awesome content in Keyforge. It's a fantastic game. I absolutely love it. I'm super excited about it. And I am looking for, I've played 25 years of Magic the Gathering. I am very much excited about playing 25 years of Keyforge. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please consider liking and subscribing, and let me know your thoughts. What do you think about unique products? Do you think I'm right? Do you think this is going to be like a major thing in retail? Do you think that what Richard Garfield has done goes beyond just games into all products, and that what he's done as far as showing the viability is massive? What's your thoughts? I'd love to know. And also, please consider liking and subscribing, as I said. And thank you very much. Take care.